I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I would like to welcome Basil to the show. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I am Basil, and I am a full-time Twitch streamer. It is nice to meet you guys. I am so happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you here. It's always great to talk with folks here on the Interviews channel. So, how long have you been a VTuber?
So, I've actually been a VTuber for less than a year. I just really recently started in the past couple months.
Mm-hmm.
So it hasn't been long at all.
Yeah, and was it something you wanted to do for a while, or did you just kind of at a spur of the moment decide to give it a shot?
Yeah, of course. So I have been trying to stream for several years since probably about 2018,
Whoa.
but never really fully had the equipment ready.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, but just only recently had the chance to really pursue in the max way that I could.
Mm.
So been on my mind for a while, but just could never really get there.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to get everything in the right place when you decide you want to do something. Sometimes you'll have X but not Y, and then Y but not X, and then you still need Z, and everything has to be aligned in a perfect way to get it started.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I really struggled with. The biggest component was getting like a PC set up. I did used to just stream where I used an Elgato, where I
Mm.
just streamed from my PlayStation with my really old laptop,
Yeah.
and that was a struggle. So,
Well, you can stream with my first console, which was a Pong
oh
from
yeah, yeah.
from Sears back in the 1980s. We had a Pong.
Yeah. No, thankfully it wasn't that old, but my goodness, it struggled. It definitely did.
Actually, this is something that most folks these days don't even realize. But some of those old home computer game setups, where the very basic, the Pong games and that sort of thing, weren't exactly the safest things in the world. A friend of mine had a one that had a couple of different games on it. And one day we're up there playing a very simple bowling type game, and smoke comes out of the back of the television.
Oh
Well, it
no.
turns out that the same wire that was powering the game was also the one that was coming out to our controllers.
Oh my gosh, what do
Yeah.
you even do in that situation? I would be so scared.
Oh, well, it was last time we played that one. Luckily,
Oh yeah, I
luck,
don't think I would play that after that.
yeah, they were kind of known for setting themselves on fire, but early days. You go
Yeah,
for
we all had to start somewhere.
Yeah. So when you started out with and finally got the microphone on, uh, did you find it easy to go on in front of an audience or broadcast yourself out to people?
It was very nerve-wracking at first, but something about not having to show my face
Mm,
really helps a more comfortable aspect because I feel like nowadays you're very heavily judged on how you are perceived and how you look.
hmm
And so creating something like a VTuber really takes away that fear.
hmm
So over time, it definitely got more comfortable because I didn't have that fear,
Right.
but still something about it was nerve-wracking. And to this day, something about it is still nerve-wracking, but it gets easier every time.
Yeah, it is. It's still, and I've pointed this out before. It's still the personality that brings people in to when they come in, and somebody will tune in and they'll stick around because of the personality and the talents of the person doing it. Um, Sometimes they like
Oh,
the game, but
absolutely.
if they come back, it's because of you.
Yes, I totally agree. Even if you have this like persona or this character, you don't show your face, your personality is really going to drive it because if you're like boring or just like a really negative person,
Mhm.
I don't know how much that really brings people back,
Yeah,
regardless of what you look like.
yeah, and people are looking for and it's obviously not 100%, but a lot of folks are doing this, coming up to watch VTubers like yourself for a little bit of escapism, to get away from the drudgery and whatever's going on outside the window. They want to come and get away a little bit and be kind of in their own little bubble, enjoying somebody else doing something and maybe interacting a little bit. Um, I imagine being down all the time would be a little tough to take for any period of time.
No, yeah, I would definitely agree. I could not imagine, having like a community and just being like a downer, just being so negative all the time.
Hmm.
But some people are and it works for them, but I
Yeah,
could not.
yeah.
So I try to create a comfortable, positive
Oh
space.
yeah, yeah, very much so. So what was your? I mean, you said you've been wanting to stream for a while. Why? Why have you wanted?
That's a very good, very simple, very good question.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what used to drive me back then. I was honestly kind of confused on a lot of stuff back then.
Hmm.
But recently, my life has gone down a path that I couldn't help. I live with chronic illness,
Hmm.
and recently it has gotten exponentially worse,
Ah,
to the point where I no longer have normal employment,
right.
and I am pretty much confined to my house
Hmm.
and my bedroom because of it.
So VTubing allowed you to kind of get out and be a part of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a way for me to connect with people while still being stuck at home.
Hmm.
And it really helps me still, like I said, connect with people. I still obviously want to talk to people and do because of my health. I'm just not really able to. So
Yeah.
streaming really allows me to still connect with people and have fun in ways that I physically can't.
Yeah, and there's a lot of folks who are kind of are not necessarily, I won't say in the same situation as you, because everybody's got different situations, but folks with chronic illnesses, folks with disabilities that can't do certain things, that keep them from going out and showing us their talents, or being able to enjoy somebody else's talents in as far as that goes. We are I hope we understand as a society how gifted we are with this particular medium, that we can hear from everybody and hear what they have to offer for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's such a beautiful media to take advantage of, and I don't think we realize how impactful it can actually be because regardless of why anyone streams, it gives us such an outlet for people to connect in ways that we might not be able to.
Mm-hmm.
Say if I was just, not struggling with sickness, I still couldn't connect with someone, say in like Europe or anything,
Mm-hmm.
just on a normal basis. So that just really gives us this next level of communication and interaction that I think we really don't realize how impactful it is.
Yeah, the world is as with this technology, the world has become pin-sized. The head of a pin is very, very small. I can come into my little part of the house here and pick up a microphone and talk to somebody from any part of the world that has a computer, and it's incredible to me that I'm able to do that. From your place, you can do the same thing, and yeah, and given your situation, it's opened up an entire universe for you.
Yes, absolutely. And like I say, I just think that's such a beautiful thing. Um, because in my situation, again, I am sick, but anyone else, say you just struggle to have that interaction with people on a normal basis, say due to anxiety or maybe your job or
Hmm.
anything,
Yeah.
this gives people that connection that we desire
Hmm.
in ways that might not be achievable in just a normal day-to-day life.
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, I'm glad it's available for you because I'm glad to be able to meet you through this. And it,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Thank you.
So when I tune into one of your streams, what am I likely to see?
Definitely likely to see a lot of fun and a lot of jokes. I try to keep the conversation going no matter what. I
Hmm.
try to tell stories about my life,
Yeah.
try to say what I've done that day, even if it's mundane. Some people just love to hear it.
Hmm.
You will definitely see chat interaction 100%. I try to keep up with chat as much as possible and reply to everybody.
Yeah.
Typically, we are playing some kind of game. If we're not doing a game, we're typically doing an art stream
Mm.
or some kind of ranking stream, like a tier list, or
Yeah.
sometimes even Smash or Pass is very popular with my guys.
Yeah.
But like I said, very comfortable, very positive. We try to keep it that way at least.
Yeah, that's great. It gives it's not only a kind of a chance for you to get out and explore. You're giving somebody else, these folks, a safe, comfortable place to be and enjoy themselves and not have to worry about things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I get quite a few regulars that come in and, they'll mention how they kind of like look forward to it and how it's just comfortable and fun. And it makes me feel good that I can provide a space like that for people
Mhm.
where they might not have anything else like that in their life. So
Mm.
it brings me comfort knowing I can do that for people.
Yeah, and I imagine it's more than comfort. I imagine it's a bit of joy there too.
Oh, absolutely. I'm happy knowing I can make other people happy because,
Mm.
when you go into streaming or any kind of media presence, you don't know how people are going to act or how they feel about
Oh
you
yeah.
or if you're going to be able to achieve what you wanted to. So knowing that I can and my biggest achievement is just letting people have a comfortable, safe space, it definitely makes me happy to do that.
Absolutely, and that's wonderful to hear. I'm really glad for you that you're able to do that. Given the situation that you're in, um, have you set some big goals for yourself, or have you had to kind of temper those a little bit because of not being able to get out and about very much or at all at this point?
I guess yes and no. So
Mm.
I think the biggest thing I've had to kind of like come back from is I wanted to really set a schedule for my streams,
Mm.
but because of the way that I am, it's hard for me to set a schedule because some days, everything relies on how I feel and how my body cooperates or even doctor's appointments.
Right.
So I really have to rely on that. Other than that, I don't really have any major goals.
Mm.
Of course, getting more followers, more people in the community is always a plus,
Mhm.
but my goal isn't to just be successful for my own terms. I'm just happy with my goal being simply people being comfortable and having fun in my streams.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my main goal out
Yeah.
of
Well, that's a
things.
wonderful goal to have. And as long as you're enjoying yourself, you're comfortable, and again, it's something that you enjoy doing. And it sounds like it is 100% true right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We thankfully haven't had much negativity. Now, of course, I know as things grow, sometimes that can be more of a problem.
Mm,
We're hoping not. Sometimes it's unavoidable. It is the internet after all. But
mm.
as of right now, things are comfortable and happy just as we want it.
Yeah, it's good. Good stuff. Well, again, just a reminder, we're going to have links to what Basil has going on up on the description for the interview here on YouTube. So make sure you check that out. But we got a long way. We've got a lot more questions to ask. Um, First of all, about your artwork. You've been doing art streams, you said.
Yes, so I do art streams. So the model that I have right now, I did not draw. I
Uh-huh.
will put that out there, of course. I will never take credit where it's not mine,
Right.
but I do try to implement my own art where I can.
Mm-hmm.
And we do art streams. I'm having a special Valentine's Day stream where the PNG I'm displaying is one that I drew.
Ooh.
Our channel points are something that I drew. So I try to implement my art where I can, but I also do like supporting other artists
Mm-hmm.
when I can,
Cool.
just because I know how important it is, as well as, tapping back into it. If I'm not up for it and my body can't handle it, it's something I can't do. So
Right.
sometimes it's more of a convenience to me to be able to support other artists where I cannot.
With your condition, has art become, or has it become a really good outlet for you to express yourself, or before you even had this particular condition, was it a way that you enjoyed expressing yourself, or has it been even more of that since?
It's kind of both. It definitely still allows me to be able to do something while I am pretty much homebound.
Mhm.
So I'm still able to express myself in those ways, and art can still connect you to people as well.
Mhm.
So that's a really good outlet. But also, some days there's not a lot of energy I can spare. So sometimes, even something as simple as drawing, which almost feels like it doesn't take that much physical effort, can still be too much for me. And
Mhm.
I still can't get to it that day.
Yeah.
So it's something I've been limited on, kind of, but it's still thankfully a way that I can do something at home to express myself.
Oh yeah, it does take it. I mean, in order to do it and do it with any skill, it does take some work. I mean,
Yeah.
I can draw a really bad stick figure, and it doesn't take very much time. But it's
Oh
also
no.
it's also terrible. But the
No, I'm sure it's not that bad. I
oh
love it.
no, it actually you're talking to somebody who actually got an F in grade school for an art piece I turned in on time.
An F?
She gave
Oh
me an F.
no.
And so it gives you an idea how bad it truly is. There are
No.
actual there are actually some countries that I am not allowed to go to because my art is that bad. That's how bad it is.
No
Yeah.
way. No way.
I tried to draw a stick figure
I'll have
and
to see proof.
oh no. Shield your eyes. But the so how long have you been so an artist? I mean, how long has been art been a part of your life?
So, art has been a part of my life since I was very little.
Hmm.
There's VHS tapes of me that my mom has
Yeah.
where she would sign me up for sports, and she's doing the mom thing,
Yeah.
taping your sports game.
Right.
And it's softball, for example, and instead of playing the game, I am drawing in the dirt. And so I'm not even playing the game. So since I've been really young, I've been at it. I used to create like little mangas with like printer paper. I would staple them together,
Yeah.
all this stuff. So definitely as long as I can remember, I've been into art of some type.
So how much trouble did you get in for using all the printer paper?
Quite a bit. Thankfully, back then it was cheaper to have, but I did go through quite a bit of it.
Where's the printer paper? It's
Yeah, it
it's
was all me.
it's volume 4, okay?
Yeah, it was always just in my bedroom. I had the whole pack in there, and
Yeah.
it was mine.
So I mean, you were not just illustrating, but you were writing it too, huh?
Yes, absolutely. I would try to write my own storylines,
Yeah.
and I can't say how good they were, but I did try.
Yeah. Hey, that's. I mean, you were enjoying yourself and you were expressing yourself and finding a way to do it. Did later on when you did some art in school, I imagine you did some. Um, how did the teachers Did you show that to the teachers, and what did they think?
I was in art classes for as long as I can remember, and I do remember my teachers being fond of me and
Hmm.
my art. Now,
Good.
of course, I was a pretty quiet kid, so I didn't really cause any problems.
Yeah.
Um, I do remember, especially in high school, my art teachers being very supportive, very much. They would push me
Mm.
to my limits because they knew what I was capable of and capable of learning.
Yeah.
And to this day, I definitely appreciate that because there's a lot of stuff I learned that I probably normally would not have pushed myself to learn.
Oh, cool. I like hearing that because I hear some horror stories of some folks who were drawing and practicing artwork as a young person, and then they reach a certain particular instructor that tears them down and tries to rebuild them into a certain mold instead of teaching them the basics and and supporting them, because everybody should have different art styles. That's what it's all about. Everybody has different ways. Otherwise, we can do the dreaded AI thing and have everything look the same. That's not what we want.
Yeah, no, that would be awful. I definitely do remember my art teachers were always supportive, but I do remember I was the kid who would draw just in class on my assignments and stuff. I was always listening, but that's how I listened.
Yeah.
And some teachers were not happy about that. I have
Oh,
memories of being called out during classes saying, if you would stop drawing on your stuff and listen, then maybe, and
yeah.
all this other stuff. So I definitely had negative experiences with teachers, but
Mm,
thankfully not the art teachers.
yeah. Yeah. Well, you're always gonna have one or two salty teachers, no matter how you get along with everybody else. That's that's
Oh,
just the way it works.
absolutely.
And what I can imagine, you doing an essay and illustrating it yourself.
Oh, yeah, I'd be like, all right, here's the storyline of my essay. Here we go. And some teachers were not happy about that.
I tell you what, if somebody had that creativity in my class, that would not only show that they were paying attention, but they cared enough to do it themselves. I'd give them extra credit for that. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. We had enough people
You
who,
would think so,
yeah,
but I guess some teachers are just, they're stuck in their ways.
teacher, leave them kids alone. We'll play some Pink Floyd and everybody on
Yeah,
there.
like that.
But it's great that it's been a part of your life this long, and now you get a chance kind of to show it to a potentially huge audience. I mean, the potential is immense. How do you feel about showing your art craft to so many folks that you don't see in person? So many folks that you don't know how you're going to get reaction from.
It is definitely going back to that nerve-wracking just because there's a lot of judgment in the world, which is not always bad, but
Hmm.
it's something that we've been taught to be kind of like afraid of. And so I, of course, do things different than I'm sure hundreds and millions of people.
Hmm.
So it does give me a little bit of anxiety to show the process or how my art turns out, and it may not be how I wanted it to. I
Right.
might not be proud of it. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but at the end of the day, as long as I'm proud of what I put out there, then I consider it a win.
Oh yeah, good. That's a great way to do it. I mean, but having the confidence to show people, that is a mountain that's pretty big for some folks. Has it been easy for you to share what you've done?
Definitely not. Not at
Oh,
first.
yeah.
I definitely compared myself to a lot of people, especially when I was younger.
Hmm.
So I've had to really teach myself to grow out of that
Hmm.
because I, want to teach myself that everyone's different, they do things different, and that's not a bad thing.
Hmm.
But I sometimes still revert back to this mindset of, oh, this isn't as good as this,
Hmm.
when that's just not healthy to think.
Right.
So, sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everybody does that a little bit, but you just try not to make that a overriding thing, or else you have a really bad long period of time. It's
Oh,
very it's
absolutely.
very
Yeah.
tough to get out of that spiral, and I can say that from personal experience. It's not easy to pull yourself back up out of that tailspin.
No, absolutely not. It's
Yeah,
it's hard,
yeah.
but we can get there. It's a process, but
Yeah,
it's a hard one, but
yeah. So,
over time it gets a little bit easier.
so when you're doing the art stream, do you have backseat artists? I would have done it this way. I would have done it this way.
Thankfully, not yet.
I'm not giving
I
anybody
am
any
I am
ideas.
waiting for it.
Yeah,
But I mean, I might have a close personal friend every now and then kind of tell me that I would have done this, but
yeah,
that's more out of love versus a stranger doing it. And I haven't had that yet. Like
yeah.
I said, thankfully, fingers crossed.
Well, if I'm in there lurking, I promise I won't do that to you. And
Okay.
if I did say something, you know that you should absolutely ignore it completely because that's how bad I am.
No,
Uh,
no, I will take it into account.
yeah,
I'll think about it.
and do the opposite. But the what do you like to? I mean, are you would you rather do people? Do you do objects? What are you doing when you are drawing?
I typically am doing more of the anime
Uh-huh.
style type stuff. I also enjoy doing like tattoo flash sheets.
Oh,
There were times that I pursued trying to be a tattoo artist and had apprenticeships
oh,
beforehand. So I like drawing tattoo work and anime style mostly.
ooh, that would be an interesting field. That would really be interesting. Um, not the easiest to get into, but
No, absolutely not. It took me a very long time. My parents did think that I was going to be a tattoo artist as soon as I graduated, but I went through a whole period where I dropped art almost completely.
mm,
So I did not pursue it, but later into adulthood, I had more opportunities and I finally got one, and then life happens and things fall through.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it just kind of happens that way. So
yeah.
now we just kind of draw flash and tattoo work in our downtime.
So, do you take commissions?
I actually do take commissions. My biggest commissions that have been pretty popular is I do pet portraits.
Mm,
So I'll take people's, images of their pets and turn it into something
yeah,
real cute, real whatever that they can do whatever with, whether it be business cards, they can print it, they can put it on Christmas cards. People love to see that, and I love to do it.
oh, that's cool. That's excellent. Here you get this chance to do it, and I'm going to use this phrase. I've been using it a lot lately, but people, and I truly believe this to the middle of my soul, that people are not the product of their environment. They're the triumph that emerges from that environment. And it sounds like you have grabbed what you can out of what you got going on, and you've absolutely made it a triumph.
I definitely have tried to do that. There are still days I am very negative about the things that have happened to me. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to seem like some superhuman of positivity because
Mm-hmm.
I'm still human and I still have very negative days of thinking,
Yeah.
this is unfair. This is,
Oh yeah.
why did this happen?
Oh yeah.
But,
That's just being
I
human,
try to remind myself, yeah,
Yeah.
that it doesn't help anything
Yeah.
to think that way. I allow myself to think that way because it is healthy to let those emotions arise and have their moments.
Yeah.
But I have to remind myself that I don't need to stay there.
Yeah.
I don't need to stay negative. I need to let it happen, let it ride its wave, and then it's okay.
Yep. Yep. And then you get right back to the drawing board, literally drawing board in those
Yeah,
cases. Yeah.
yeah, quite a
Well,
bit.
just wait until you're old. It happens a lot more often.
Oh
Hey,
no.
get off my lawn. When I was a kid, I didn't even have a lawn. That type of thing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. No, it's I'm uh, it's good that you have this opportunity, and it's great that we get a chance to uh, to enjoy it. It's because I'm selfish when it comes to these things. I want to know what you've got to offer me as a, yeah, as a talent. I want to see it. I want to know it. Um, and it is selfish of me, but I don't care. I want to know. Um, it seems like there's so many folks out there who have abilities and gifts and talents that we don't get to see because there are billions of people and we're only one. Um, but here we've got a chance now for a lot of folks, such as yourself, to show that off. Such a blessing it is.
Yeah, I absolutely agree because, going back to it, there's, hundreds, millions of people in this world that, you know, I personally wouldn't have a chance to meet, all of these people, but
Hmm.
having platforms such as this where we can now experience people's talents and what they have to offer that I wouldn't normally see and that you probably wouldn't normally see. I mean,
Right.
it's amazing. It's nice to know that it's out there. I know talent exists in this world,
Hmm.
and I am thankful to have such platforms to be able to experience that.
Yeah.
Whereas, back then, several years, we didn't have that.
Nope. Nope. We just have to brag about it, and never we'd have to
Yeah.
brag about it on our text lines on the computer. That's about it.
Yeah.
We have so many people now who are so gifted at singing, musical instruments, artwork, cooking, um, model building, just yakking with people. Uh, they're bringing their fields to it as far as having little seminars and stuff online. It's become, as people are thinking that this isn't a boom time, and maybe the boom time is not here for VTubing. I think it's a more diverse situation than it has been, and people. I think it's going to become more and more a regular part of people's entertainment. I really hope so.
I definitely think so, just because, as you said, there's so many talents out there and what we have to offer.
Hmm.
I mean, I know friends that play VTuber streams just on their TV, and that's what they watch for the night when they're
Yeah,
eating or, winding down after work,
yeah,
or they need a cooking stream because they want to know what to make that night or need inspiration.
yeah,
I definitely think it's becoming more of a normal part of people's lives, more than what people realize, because there's so much to offer and there's so much out there now.
yeah. Well, but see, and then they'll look back at people like yourself and say they were the innovators. They were the first ones to do this. They will build
Maybe one day.
they will build statues to Basil.
That would be a sight to see. That would be.
Now, have you been able to work with some other VTubers? Have you been able to do any collaborations, or are you mostly doing solo stuff when you're on?
Right now, I am definitely still trying to reach out to people
Hmm.
and, get mutuals and friends. I have done um, one or two collabs. It's with another VTuber called Fluffer Cats.
Hmm.
She's super sweet. She's one of the first people that I got the nerve to actually interact with.
Yeah,
I am genuinely kind of a very awkward person, so it's hard for me to actually reach out and speak to people.
yeah,
But I've been trying to do better at, reaching out, making friends, playing games with other creators or people in general. I'm definitely pushing myself in that aspect.
well, folks, you got to check out what Basil has going on. But just from hearing what me talking to Basil, I hope that you can hear the genuine personality that emanates from Basil, and how much fun you're obviously having with it, and the smile in your voice. People have got to check out what you have going on. We're gonna have all of the links in the description, and I really do hope I can have you on again here soon.
Yes, I would love that.
Yeah.
I would be more than happy for that. I appreciate all of it and the opportunity. I don't, I remember finding you on Blue Sky. Now, I don't know if it was because it was recommended or someone I followed reposted, but either way, I am super happy that they did. It's another community and another, um, not literal face
Mm,
that I get to know,
yeah.
but it's nice to again meet people that are just kind of involved in the type of communities. I just really love to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. And any community with you in it is going to be improved. I'll tell you that right now. I appreciate you
Thank you.
being a part of the show, and we will get you back soon. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me. I was super happy to do this and be here.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.